Well, unfortunately, the moment the scientists warned us about us here, we are now in an era of global water bankruptcy, which means a lot of critical freshwater systems are being so overused and are now so degraded that they cannot be restored to their former state. This bankruptcy means that societies have basically long been using freshwater faster than nature can replenish it annually, while simultaneously destroying the long-term reserves stored in ancient aquifers and vital wetlands. So let's get into what this looks like on a global scale. To start, 75% of the global population now lives in water insecure countries. 75%. Another thing, globally, 2 billion people live on land that is sinking as these vast ancient groundwater stores collapse beneath them. For example, some of these cities include Rafsanjani in Iran, which sinks by 30 centimeters per year, Tulare in California, which is by 28 centimeters per year, Mexico City by 21, Jakarta, Manila, Lagos, and Kabul are also affected. And among one of those visible signs of this water bankruptcy are the 700 sinkholes now peppering the heavily farmed Konya plain in Turkey. And obviously, our lakes and our rivers are also suffering. The Colorado River in the US and the Murray-Darling in Australia, for example, often fail to reach the sea. We talked about the Rio Grande/Rio Brave and it drying up in a separate video, but there are obviously more. Half the world's large lakes, from Iran's Lake Urmia to America's Salton Sea, have been shrinking since the 1990s as well. And even traditionally damp nations, like the UK, for example, will be affected by this because of our interconnected global system, especially with food, right? The UK relies on a lot of food imports from these water bankrupt regions. So don't think you won't be affected simply because you're not in one of these countries. But do remember, it was like 75% of the population, so you might be and just don't know it yet because you're probably privileged or something. That won't last. And what comes with water scarcity? Well, many things, but one of those things is conflict. Water scarcity related conflict has risen from just about known 20 in 2010 to more than 400 in 2004. That is quite a spike. And then there are the day zero days where you have seen in places like Sao Paulo, Chania, and Cape Town, which is basically they faced, quote, day zero crises where taps nearly ran dry. And agriculture, your food, where 70% of freshwater withdrawals come from, is at the heart of this crisis. Farmers are trying to grow more food from shrinking, polluted, and unstable water sources, and this is compounded by the destruction of natural water stores. For example, wetlands equal to the entire area of the European Union have been erased in the past 50 years. And then don't forget, the climate crisis worsens everything by disrupting reliable rainfall and melting vital mountain glaciers, compounding this problem. All in all, it's not good and we really got to make some changes fast. But if you've made it this far, the report comes from the UN if you want to go read it yourself, as well as please give me a water emoji so I know you're one of the heroes who makes it to the end.